All right. So, let's get to the case that just will not end. And that is Jonathan Majors' case. Because the sentencing has been delayed now. Why not? Everything else has been delayed. So, why not this too? So, let's just get right to the article. Jonathan Majors' domestic violence sentencing delayed. May faces potential prison stint. So, not good. The last we heard, he wasn't going to face prison, which I was happy about because what he was accused of was so minor that it was basically, it's an accident. So, what accidents are punishable now? We're not allowed to have those anymore. But anyway, let's get to the article. Found guilty on domestic violence charges late last year, Jonathan Majors will not be sentenced today as originally scheduled. Convicted of reckless assault and harassment in his trial back in December, Majors' sentencing was initially supposed to occur early this morning in New York City. That plan shifted first thing Tuesday as lead defense lawyer Priya Chaudhry opted to file various motions with the court today, court officials told Deadline. Set to address those motions, the hearing will now begin around 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Originally, Majors was supposed to be in the Manhattan courtroom this morning, but his appearance today will now be virtual. Once sentencing actually occurs, which could be later this month, the former Marvel actor is looking at anything from probation to a year behind bars as a first-time offender in a misdemeanor case, which isn't what the title suggested. The title suggested that they learned something that might, because initially they said, yeah, he's probably just going to go get off with probation. A jury convicted Majors in December of reckless assault and harassment for his actions last spring during a chauffeured car ride in Manhattan with his then-girlfriend Grace Jabbari that turned into a violent argument. Along with the trial verdict, the consequences of that night for Majors professionally have been dramatic. The Lovecraft County Emmy nominee's career was spiraling even before the jury spoke. Roles for Majors disappeared in the weeks and months after his arrest on domestic violence charges. High-profile ad campaigns featuring him were shelved, and he was quickly dropped by his management and publicity firms. Last fall, Disney pulled Magazine Dreams from its movie release schedule despite early Oscar buzz for Majors' starring performance as an aspiring bodybuilder. Hours after the verdict in December, Disney fired Majors outright from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The actor was due to return to the sprawling superhero franchise as villain Kang the Conqueror in various already announced future Avengers films. Majors had previously played Kang in both seasons of Loki and last year's movie Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Majors' talent agency, WME, still represents him. In fact, his agent, Ellen Rispoli, testified for Majors at the trial. Before and during the trial, Majors' main defense lawyer, Chaudhry, portrayed Jabbari as a jilted, revenge-seeking liar who wasn't too injured to go partying with strangers after the altercation. The six-person jury rejected that narrative and sided with prosecutors from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, who said the violence was real and a culmination of a pattern of manipulation and abuse. Now, I will agree about the manipulation. I'm still not seeing how that one text message could be read in any other way than abuse, even though Jabbari herself said he wasn't abusive towards her. And the chauffeur driver said that she started it. Yeah. I just don't see how what the jury heard or saw that led them to decide that he was guilty. But anyway, like I said, from what I understand of the charges he was found guilty of, it's basically it was an accident, but we're going to hold you accountable for it. Afterwards, Majors told Lindsay Davis of ABC News Live in January that the guilty verdict left him shocked and afraid, while the actor described the couple's relationship as troubled in the odd sit-down interview. He denied ever hitting her or any woman. I was reckless with her heart, not with her body, Major said. And I'm just still screaming, why didn't you testify on your behalf? I mean, what, I don't know, were you or your lawyers afraid that because you're an actor, nobody would believe a word that came out of your mouth? I honestly do not know why he did not say this to the jury. Maybe that might have changed the verdict. I do not know, but it could not have hurt. That's what Major said, but during the trial, jurors saw texts between the couple about an incident in London 6 months before the actor's NYC arrest, in which they argued about a hospital visit. And this is the text I'm referring to. I will tell the doctor that I bumped my head if I go. Jabari wrote of a plan to get a prescription for painkillers. Majors replied that going to the hospital would lead to investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something. So, yeah, I still don't understand how anybody can read that and say that she isn't covering up for him. Even though she still says that he didn't abuse her at that time. I just don't see how you can read that any differently. Seriously, how do you explain the language used if he didn't do anything wrong? Majors and Jabari, a dancer from Britain, met in London in 2021 on the Ant-Man set, where Jabari was hired as a movement coach. Jabari testified that Majors could be really loving and sweet, but had an explosive temper. Jurors also heard audio of Majors castigating Jabari for coming home drunk from a night out with friends in London in 2022. In audio that Jabari recorded secretly, Majors called himself a great man in need of a great woman, such as Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama. So yeah, the only thing that I'm seeing that he's guilty of is extreme narcissism. Because you're an actor, dude. You are not Martin Luther King Jr. You're not Barack Obama. I mean, just stop. But does that mean that he abused her? No, it doesn't. It just means he's a narcissist. The fact that there are actors who are narcissists should come as absolutely no shock to anybody. During their car ride through Lower Manhattan after midnight on March 25th, Jabari spotted a text from another woman on the Creed 3 actor's phone and grabbed the device. Which, I'm sorry, but if she's looking over his shoulder to see who he's texting, that right there is a red flag. That either means that she knows that he's been cheating on her and she's watching him, or she just didn't trust him from the beginning. But either way, this was not a good relationship for anybody. And again, that doesn't mean he's abusive, just means that he's not the kind of person you want to get in a relationship with. Because he's, I don't know if fame has gotten to his head and because women are beautiful women are throwing themselves at him, he can't say no or something. I mean, that's not an excuse. That's not excusing his behavior, but seriously, dude, what the hell are you doing? Unless it was more of a, I'm in a toxic relationship, so I'm going to cheat on her because, nothing bad could happen if she were to find out. Just leave the damn relationship. He admitted he should have left it earlier. Jabari testified that Majors responded with force, twisting her arm and prying her hand back violently enough to fracture a finger, and then struck her in the head. I'm sorry, you tried to grab his phone. Maybe he went overboard, but you still tried to grab his phone. I mean, again, he probably went overboard. Actually, it sounds like he did go overboard. But considering the driver, well, he just said that she started it. He didn't say anything about whether Majors actually did what she claims. So no. Just because she started it doesn't mean he didn't do those things. The fight spilled onto the street at a stoplight, where Majors forcefully lifted Jabari back into the car, manhandling her as if she was a doll, a prosecutor said, a scene that jurors watched on security camera footage. Jurors also saw footage of Majors running away from the scene with Jabari appearing to give chase, and later footage of Jabari at a nightclub with a group of strangers she met on the street. And see, that's the thing that I don't get. If she's that horribly injured, how is she still clubbing? Now, I realize that adrenaline can numb pain for a while, but at this point, the adrenaline should have calmed down. So, how is she not feeling the effects of any of this? That's what I do not understand. Let's see. What else did I want to say about that? Yeah, why was she giving chase? Why was she running after him? I just do not see what was the point. I mean, was she that desperate to stay with him or something? I do not understand. Alright. The panel acquitted Majors of 2 other misdemeanor charges, aggravated or intentional assault and harassment. At least something. Majors told ABC News Live that he hopes to someday find work again in Hollywood. All the more reason why he should only receive probation rather than a jail sentence, because Hollywood doesn't take too kindly to jail sentences. For, rightly or wrongly, as in most of society, once you've been to jail, once you have a rap sheet, it's just very, very hard to get your life back together, because people are going to give you the side eye. People are going to question you. Whether it's deserved or not, that's just the way society works. So things are not looking good. So just the fact that he was convicted, not a good look for him. And who knows what these motions that the defense attorney is doing today that is causing the delay. And how much of this is actually going to help him, and how much of this is going to hurt him. Because during the trial, she badgered the witness to the point where previously sealed evidence was unsealed, so people saw his previous behavior, which I'm sure helped color their depiction of him and helped with finding the guilty verdict. The judge was helping Jonathan Majors until his stupid lawyer decided to be an absolute, and I'm sorry I'm going to use this word, an absolute cunt. I mean, I just do not understand that. If she had just been reasonably nice to her, I mean, yes, you know, attorneys for the opposite side are going to be hard on a witness. That's just the way it goes. But to badger? Attorneys know damn well you don't badger the witness because judges do not like that. So I have no idea what she thought she was doing. But, yeah, I just... That's what screwed him over. If that sealed evidence remained sealed, maybe he would have got a fairer hearing. However, part of that sealed evidence was like this text message, which, not a good look, and him threatening suicide, which was seen as him manipulating, which maybe he was manipulating. It's a thing of abusers that they will threaten to harm themselves if you don't do what they want. So that is totally legit. Or maybe he was in a bad place and he was being suicidal. I mean, just because he's a big guy and at this point famous doesn't mean he doesn't have issues. Just ask Robin Williams. Oh wait, you can't. He actually killed himself because he was that depressed. So it's possible he was going through a bad patch and his mental health wasn't where it should be. We don't know because it's very much out of context what we saw. But that was the unsealed evidence, and that basically sealed his fate. Because there was no context to that. Again, that one text message, there had to be some serious context in that the rest of the messages to make it not read what it totally looks like it is. So that's that one line that gets me. Everything else, it could go either way. So anyway, we'll have to wait till later this month, hopefully later this month, to find out what his sentence is. With that, I believe I said everything I wanted to on this case, and I will see you guys in the next video.